So today we are going to be shading shapes on the iPad. Feel free to follow along on paper, but I do want to explain the iPad tools to you. So the very first thing we're going to do is decide a light source. So I'm going to use my pen tool and come down here and find a color, if it'll work for me. I'm going to use yellow. Now I like to draw these lines because they help identify which direction the light will be coming from. Remember that our highlights are going to be closest to the light and our shadows are going to be on the opposite side and farthest away. So now my favorite tool for shading on the iPad is actually this paint roller tool right here. With this paint roller tool, the top square is considered your least amount of color, and the bottom tool is considered your most amount of color. Now for this exercise, we're going to be using the top square, the least amount. So I'm going to go ahead and click this. Now you can use any tool, or any color to do your shapes today, as long as you're only using one color. But when we're just starting out for shading, I like using black. Now the cool thing is, this top oval is actually going to be bright white. So you're not going to put anything up there. You're going to leave it completely alone. Our highlight is going to be about right here. Notice it doesn't touch the edge completely. It's going to be a little bit farther away, and our shadow is going to do the exact same thing except on the other side. Now I haven't actually started drawing yet. This was just showing you where our highlights and our shadows are, or will be. And the cool thing is you can just trace using this tool. I'm going to trace the outline of the shape. And I'm just going to keep building up my colors, or building up my shades. Now remember, our shadow is going to be close to the edge, but not quite touching it. So I'm going to add my shadow in just about right here. And I'm also going to come into the other side and add a little bit of a shade right beside the highlight. Now if you mess up like I did right here in this little section and need to go back and redo, just hit the undo button. Now our shades look pretty good, but we want to make sure they're more realistic. We want to blend out those lines in between. So I'm going to come down here to the smudge tool. And I'm actually just going to follow these lines and come straight down to blend them out. It's okay if you go outside the lines just a little bit, because you can come back in with your eraser tool and erase wherever you went outside the lines. You want to have a nice clean bottom for our shadow later, and make sure there's nothing on the top because it's going to be bright white. Now for our shadow, we can actually use this medium amount of color. So I'm going to go ahead and click on that. I'm going to trace the bottom of our cylinder. Our shadow is going to come out way out here to the side because this is the opposite direction from our light source. We have a pretty nice looking shadow. You can just go back in with your smudge tool again and smudge it out. Be careful not to smudge out your your cylinder too much. We'll do the sphere in just a second, because you've worked nice and hard on that. Right, there you go. Your cylinder is complete.